quickly just want to go over a couple questions with you. This is very, very similar to the homework that you're getting for today. Remember, this is just M-STEP prep. However, this is a 4th grade skill that is required to know and understand. So it is very good practice, even for those who are not taking the M-STEP this week. So please just keep that in mind. I'm going to show you an example of an elapsed time word problem. Don't get nervous by me saying word problem. I promise you these are not very difficult, especially with how they're worded. But I'm going to do a T-CHARTs example with you. So let's look at number 1 really quickly. It says Roger started digging a hole at 4:30. When he finished at 7:30, oh, that's a spelling error. Let me just cross this. That's what that should say. All right, so Roger started digging a hole at 4:30. When he finished at 7:30, it was already 2 feet deep. How long did Roger spend digging? So they want to know how long he spent digging this hole. We know he started it at 4:30, and then he finished at 7:30. So this is very similar to some things that you at least should have gotten started on in 3rd grade. Now, whether or not you did, with it being our COVID year and us ending online, ending early and going online, let me just very quickly review this with you. And number 1 is a good example because there are no minutes involved here. We're just counting on by the hour. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just below this going to write a T-chart. And what we mean by a T-chart, it's a chart that looks just like a T, okay? We can use these in writing. We can use these in a lot of ELA skills. They're often used in math as well. So let's take a look here. Let me scroll this down. Okay. So Roger started digging a hole at 4:30. I'm going to put my start time here. And I suggest you guys taking notes along with me. This is going to really help you with answering these kinds of questions. You're also going to have very similar questions on your IXL skills. So again, knowing how to write this T-chart is going to help you visualize and see how much time has passed or how much elapsed time occurred. So it started, he started digging a hole at 4:30. He finished at 7:30. So here we want to write the time where we started and then here where we finished. And we need to determine now how many hours accumulated or how much time elapsed. So how long did Roger spend digging? Well, I know if I count on from 4:30, okay, 1 hour later would be 5:30. And I can put 1 hour here. And 1 hour has passed. 6:30 would then be 2 hours. And 7:30, now mind you, this is where our end time happens, is at 7:30. He was finished digging the hole. So here I know then that if he started at 4:30 and he ended at 7:30, he ended 3 hours later. So the amount of time that elapsed or the amount of time that he spent digging was 3 hours. Okay? So for example, for your answer, you would just type in 3 hours. Now I know your worksheet has different questions, but these are just some examples and they're very similar to the ones you guys are getting today. I'm going to draw another T-chart next to this. And again, I really suggest you having a piece of paper or maybe your math notebook to help you. Number 2 says Frank started exercising at 2:50. So again, our start time goes on the left. So at 2:50, Frank started exercising. If he stopped at 4:40, there's our stop time. How long did he spend exercising? Or how much time went by? Okay, that's what we mean by elapsed. How much time elapsed? How much time went by? So if we start at 2:50 and we go to 4:40, this is a good example of not just going and counting on by the hour, but we're going to have to include some minutes in as well. I know I want to start with hour. I'm just going to go 1 hour later to 3:50. Okay, so now I have 1 hour that has passed. Now be careful, you guys, because if you go one more hour, you're going to get 4:50. all right? And you've gone over 440 if you get to 450. So here what I'd like to do is to just round up here, and I can do that just with 10 minutes, okay? So I know if I go up 10 minutes, let's see here, we'll go 4 o'clock then. If I go from 350 to 4, 10 minutes has passed, okay? So here I just counted by 1 hour. I went up from 250 to 350. That was 1 hour later. And then I added another 10 minutes in, which would make that 4 o'clock. Now I want to go to 440, but I don't have to count another hour. I just need 40 minutes. So to get from 4 o'clock to 440, that would be 40 minutes. So here I know, you guys, that if I were to add these together, all right, 60 minutes is 1 hour. And here the total number of minutes that I have is 40 minutes and 10 minutes. If I add those two together, I would get 50 minutes. But don't forget, I'm going to cross these out just to kind of keep track that I added those minutes together. But I have 1 full hour. So the amount of time that he spent exercising was 1 hour and 50 minutes. Now, you might come across this and think to yourself, I could have just added 1 hour to 350 and I could have gotten 450, but then subtracted 1 hour. 10 minutes, subtracted 10 minutes. I don't mind how you do it or how your brain sees it, because we're all different and we're all going to figure out a lot of different problems differently. It's just kind of how we are wired. So just keep in mind, I do not mind how you do it. I do think the TCHART really helps us keep track. So just think about that as you look at these problems. Guys, please reach out to me if you're not sure. We can do these together, all right? I understand that many of you are not familiar with these kinds of problems, and so for some of you, this might be extremely difficult. So please, if you are challenged by this and you just are not sure or understanding the answers to these or how to figure out the answers to these, I want you to hop on Google Meet, all right? I will be here live this afternoon. I'd love to go over a lot of these problems with you. So please hop on before you do your IXL skill, especially, just so that you feel prepared and ready to go for those IXL skills. Pop on Google Meet and let me know, and we can walk through a couple problems together. All right, good luck, kiddos.